task 3 of 6. So in this video we're going to focus entirely on the pre-production part of the brief. So if you haven't completed task 1 and task 2, do not proceed to task 3 because, well, I'll show you. Task 1, you're researching using at least 5 industry examples and delving deep into the details of what makes a project great in the particular area you have chosen to create your final major projects within that domain, that area, that aspect of the creative media industry, whether it be film, TV, social media, marketing, whatever it is you've chosen. Only once you've done task 1 do you go to task 2, where you pitch and submit a proposal for my consideration as to whether you're going to proceed to task 3 and start planning your project. So it's really important you follow in a linear beginning, middle and end fashion in the FMP. So task 3, if you've done task 1 and task 2, then you're in the right place. Task 3, pre-production. Every single project, every single FMP will need to have a production file. Within this production file, I want to see the story of the project, all the changes that have occurred, all the pivoting and failing fast and ideating and problem solving your way out of a corner when the inevitable issues occur. The limitations and barriers you identified in task 1, these issues that you may face when producing your project, I need you to tell me the story of how you resolved and dealt with those issues in the actual project. So a production file needs to be maintained. It needs to be well organized. Now, a production file could be a separate space on your site or blog whereby you organize your process and tell me about all the changes that have occurred throughout the project. Maybe it will look like a series of diary updates. Maybe it will be literally called production file. I'm not going to dictate to you directly exactly how it needs to look, but I will state very clearly to you that I need you to ensure that you have a very well organized area on your site or blog whereby all the changes throughout the planning of your project are evidenced and shown. So this must include all relevant forms of documentation, scripts, risk assessments, storyboards, any emails or group chat screen grabs of planning organization relating to the FMP, whether that be using Slack or Microsoft Teams or Hangouts. I don't mind what you use, whatever works for your project. Messenger group chat, for example, would suffice, as long as you show that you are planning. But the relevant forms of documentation are crucial in relation to the project you want to create. So if you want to create a radio show, then I would expect to see officially formatted radio script documentation with all the accompanying forms and release documentation that would come with a professional radio broadcast. So in docs.google.com, under templates, you'll see I've put lots of templates there for us in preparation. Documentation's got to be appropriate for the type of production you are making. You must also include a comprehensive schedule. Now, the production schedule could look like a spreadsheet, could be a detailed calendar, could be using another tool like Monday. I don't mind whatever you use to organize your time, as long as I've got access to it and I can see a production schedule throughout the 3-month project for the FMP. That would be wonderful. I need to see that schedule, that planning, so we can look back at it and see how you've used your time. Again, managing your time is crucial to achieving a merit or a distinction. It is critical to your grade, crucial to your grade, that you keep a journal as well. So, as I've mentioned, these the production file documentation might look like a journal, and these two parts of the pre-production might bleed into each other a little bit. I don't mind, so long as there's criteria that shows that you've got all the documentation, all the changes of the documentation, and a journal as well. Now, the journal should be updated every single time you work on your FMP. So diary entries is one way of thinking of it. I don't want it descriptive. I don't want it tokenistic. It needs to be meaningful, with reflection about what you did, how you changed your ideas, how you've adapted or evolved something in light of somebody not turning up, or in light of something that's happened in your personal life, or in light of something not looking as good as you thought it would look when you initially planned it. The journal should be dated. If you're using something like Google Sites or WordPress, it will of course give you those updates automatically with the dates. I need you to cover every aspect of your role, responsibilities, ideas, research, and your contributions to the project on your site or blog, to tell me about the story of the project, essentially. If you are researching a new skill that supports your development, this should also be included. So essentially what you're doing in the journal is telling me what you're doing every single time you work on the project, telling me the story of the project. Now, the submission evidence for the task 3 pre-production part of the FMP is as follows: a production file with your documentation in. All the changes to the documentation needs to be in this space. And a journal or a diary, however you want to think of it, whereby you tell me about the story of the project. Now, the production file and the journal need to provide evidence on how you've used research to develop your ideas, and how you are applying practical skills, knowledge, and understanding to complete your FMP within a designated time frame. Your production file full of documentation and your journal are crucial parts towards you achieving your merit or distinction, or pass if that's what you're aiming for. You need to make sure everything is in its right place, and I'll be checking in with you, of course, as will Dan and Tom, throughout the task 3 part of the FMP. Now, as always, if you have any questions at all, please speak to me, but it's really important the planning is robust and rigorous, and ensures that everything is accounted for in terms of resources, facilities, in terms of your time management as well. The time management is crucial here, and this is the thing that stopped a lot of people last year from getting merits and distinctions. They didn't manage their time well enough. They didn't change and adapt their ideas and evidence it in their journal well enough. Things will go wrong. They'll go wrong on the FMP. Make peace with that now. How you adapt and evolve and overcome these issues is where you will get those merits and distinctions, okay? Okay. Any questions, put them in the comments below. Thank you.